swirling energy in the lightless void between galactic dimensions forms a tunnel around his reformed soul as Blaze hurtles through the darkness. Suddenly a colorful light appears, growing rapidly. "Okay, that's new," he says to himself. Looking around, he tries to stop himself, but is met with pure full-body agony as he tries to resist. Being pulled through the source of the light, he fights against whatever is happening, agony tearing at every fiber of his being as another barrier approaches ahead. Looking up at the sky, a female knight in her early 30s looks up as a dim rainbow-colored light flashes high above in space. She looks up to see a ball of energy appear from a long-distant portal and streak across the sky, impacting in a mountainous area. Looking after it, she focuses on her illusion spell as a few corrupt knights ride by on horseback. I'm probably not the only one who saw that, she thinks to herself, hurrying in its direction. Blaze looks up into the dark night sky from the bottom of a small crater. Seems like the new portals help a little with memory, but I can't remember why I'm here, or before the last 500 years. Damn, he thinks. Looking up as a sword tip fills his view, a knight in black armor stands over him. What say you of your crime? Violating the no magic and energy policy of the Dark One is punishable by death, the knight says to Blaze. The knight's armor making a strange glassy crinkle as he moves. Blaze is taken aback. And what's the council think of that policy? He asks. The Dark One vanquished the council when he conquered this world. His law is the only law. Blaze tenses, unsure if the knight is joking, when he notices a burst of energy from behind the knight. Jumping back, he dodges a bolt of purple lighting from another knight. Sizing them up as he senses their energy, he clenches his teeth. I'm not strong enough to beat them. I have to find Jane and the other, he starts to think as he lands, suddenly running into a knight that got behind him. Feeling the knight shift, Blaze pushes off, spinning as a sword cuts into his tunic. Vaulting away, he raises his energy and turns dashing away. Looking back, he sees a knight raise his spear, firing a bolt of energy at him. Blaze leaps into the air and dodges the bolt of energy, feeling his body hum with the pain of a screech on a chalkboard as it passes by. Flipping away, a ball of energy passes close to Blaze's arm, causing a painful tingling that causes his arm to collapse mid-cartwheel. In the fraction of a second, the knight moves in on him, but he manages to spring up, landing a swift kick to the gut, causing the knight to stumble backwards. Charging a blast, Blaze's aura whips at the ground as he fires. 30 miles away, people are knocked off their feet by the planetary blast's 30 megaton effect. Residual sparks crackle around Blaze's fingers as the knight looks at its missing shoulder and left side of its chest. Blaze stares at the featureless obsidian insides of the knight in confusion. It looks back at him unfazed as a glow emanates from the damaged edges and the missing areas slowly regenerate. Suddenly there's a blinding blue light and Blaze is hit with the disorienting full-body feel of time stopping in the area. Looking around, he sighs in relief as he recognizes the time and teleportation magic. As the purple and gold sphere forms around him, he sits. Finally. I hope Ruby can explain what's going on here, he thinks as his daughter's magic whisks him away and the time spell wears off. The Obsidian Knight looks around in annoyance, noticing the spell unable to hinder the escape. A few minutes later, Blaze stares at his daughter Ruby as he sits back heavily on a chair deep in a forgotten mine. Ruby sits across from him at the table. I know it's strange, but Mom isn't coming back. She is just a normal person in another universe and wishes to only know the universe. You've been through worse, she tells him. He looks at her. Yeah, well, it's not like before in other incarnations. This is from God, he says, holding up a glowing pure white envelope. He pulls out a golden paper that glows softly, its light filling the room with an atmosphere of love and patience. Its contents: you are to find what's truly important and not idolize. Blaze places the paper back inside its envelope and lays it to the table where it floats without touching. I can't believe you've been through so much and cause of something I'm being tested on. You're an amazing person, Ruby, Blaze says, feeling lost. Ruby smiles back at him, her eyes shining with pride. Thanks, Dad. I'm just doing what I can to keep you safe and protect the ones I love. Things will be okay in the end, she says optimistically. 1,500 miles away in the throne room within the castle, surrounded by redemption in ruins, a sleek obsidian dragon stares in the direction a burst of subtle yet infuriating divine energy came from. Seems to be about in the deserts. If it's him, then I'll handle it myself, it says, raising a large bear-sized head as its long black obsidian neck bursts through the overhead walkway. It stretches its long figure and then bursts through what remains of the castle's ceiling. As the dragon emerges, it unleashes a deafening roar that shakes the very mountain foundation of the castle. The knights that were still standing scramble to their feet, weapons drawn and shields raised. The dragon's scales shimmer with a faint deep blue light as it lands gracefully on the floor, its massive wings folding behind it with a beautiful crinkle of its somehow flexible skin. He looks at his obsidian knights. Remain standing guard here at the castle while I handle our former king, he says. Taking flight, he breaks the sound barrier upon flapping his large demonic wings. Flapping again as he reaches high above the castle, the force obliterates a mile of a nearby mountain peak as he rockets away at 10 times the speed of sound. As he soars through the sky, he notices a small group of humanoid dragons flying towards him. All dressed in black, perfect for their dinner funeral, he says, amused. He raises his head and lets out a deafening roar, causing the ground to shake beneath them. Changing course, he gets serious and closes the 10 miles in the blink of an eye as he devours the head of the lead dragon. Simultaneously, his sharp, ultra-durable obsidian tail cuts 3 others to pieces, flowing through them gracefully. A diamond sword goes to his tail's blade as the final of the group tries to defend, but is split in 2 as he finishes his series of attacks and flies away. The knights below look on in awe at the sheer power and skill of the dragon. As he flies away, his wings compressing the air behind him create violent swirling storm clouds in the sky.